Welcome to the Book Buzz Show with Cheryl, where we dive into the captivating world of books. Here at the Book Buzz Show, we encourage you to make your pages turn with joy and immerse yourself in a magical literary experience. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Book Buzz Show with Cheryl, where we dive into the captivating world of books. Here at the Book Buzz Show, we encourage you to make your pages turn with joy and immerse yourself in a magical literary experience. Enjoy the show.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Book Buzz Show. I'm your host, Cheryl Brooks. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And if you enjoy the upcoming show, please like, follow, subscribe, and share the broadcast. For those of you who are new here at the Book Buzz Show, we do discuss the book and the characters with some minor spoilers. We don't give anything major away, though, that would ruin your reading enjoyment. Just enough to whet your appetite and want you to go get the book. In addition to being a live broadcast, we are also a podcast, so you can follow us wherever you get your podcast at the Book Buzz Show with Cheryl, and you can check us out while you're on the go. All right, I have a great show in store for you this evening. Um, I really enjoyed this book, so I'm excited to talk about this with the author. And let me bring it on the screen, the cover. And there's the cover on the screen for those who are watching. A beautiful cover, too. A Wager at Midnight by Vanessa Riley. For those who are listening later, again, that's A Wager at Midnight by Vanessa Riley. All right, and without further ado, I'm going to bring on tonight's guest along with my co-host this evening, Katina Brown.
Hello.
Hello, ladies. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Let's
Good
see.
evening.
Looks like we have a few people in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Myra. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Ola. Thank you for joining us. Katina, if you, I don't have mine up, so if you keep an eye on Instagram.
I will.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Vanessa, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you on the Book Buzz Show. And for those who are new to you, and because this is our first time on the show, to having you on the show, can you tell us a little bit about your professional writing journey and how you got started?
Well, long time ago. No, just kidding. It feels like that. I've been professionally writing since 2013. I am an engineer by trade. Back in school, I was one of those kids that was good at math and good at writing. And my mother famously sat me down one day and she's like, "Baby, I know you like this writing thing, but you always got to have your bills paid." That woman, very smart woman.
Yeah.
Engineering does pay the bills,
It does.
but when you have a passion about something, when you have a gift, you have to nurture it. You have to tell the stories,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel very privileged to be in this position, and I'm excited to be here with you guys. And by the way, this is book number 26. 26.
26.
26.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Jennifer says she came to support. Support. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Jennifer.
All right. So, what made you decide to go into the historical genre?
Mm-hmm.
When you
That
first
had
came?
always been my escape. Back in the days, Jude Devereaux and then some of the early Beverly Jenkins books. And
Mhm.
I like that being, in the middle of my parents' divorce, in the middle of the chaos of growing up in the South all the things that are happening, you needed a way to escape. And
Mhm.
you go back to these places of prettiness and rules and men being gentlemen and
Yeah.
women, having an agency, but yet still, looking to
Mhm.
find that person who gets them and understands them and will help them fulfill their dreams. To me,
Mhm.
that was a beautiful world to just get away from the noise.
Right.
So it's always been historicals for me, historical mysteries or historical sagas, historical romance. That is my jam.
Mine too. That's probably my one of my favorites. My other favorite is paranormal and fantasy, but those are my like go
Mm.
tos.
They're so
Uh,
close though. They both are about the world building. Like you
right.
can't
Oh, for
do
sure.
historical unless you set that world building. The same with paranormal. You won't get all the things that are happening unless
Right.
Right.
that world is built. So I can see why you go back and forth.
Yes, since I was little, I've always been
Yeah.
fascinated with reading about different time periods and watching them on TV or movies. Love it, love it, love it. Who
Mhm.
were some of your favorites when you were growing up to
Yeah.
read?
Well, I have my book of my little thing here of favorites. So we've got Going to the Chapel by Rochelle Ayers, Gwen Foster, Hannah Hill, and Francis Ray.
Yes, yes, yes. Had
Mm.
her on the show a couple times.
Yes.
We've got Eva Rutland. Eva
Okay.
Rutland
I
actually
haven't
wrote.
read.
This is no Crystal Stair, but she actually wrote the first Regencies for Harlequin.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
didn't
sure.
know
We've
that.
been about this life for a
Okay.
minute. We've been about this life for a minute. Now her characters fit the norm of what we typically think of when we think of
Right,
Regency. They were the dukes and the peerages and primarily white characters, but
right.
that
Mhm.
was what she was allowed to write. So once
Ah,
again, I feel very privileged being able to tell these other stories that are just as important in that time frame.
right, right.
Yes, and I appreciate that too, because like I told you, I grew up reading Jane Austen and what was my favorite? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
The
Oh,
Bronte sisters.
them two. This one was more. What was her name? She was good with
Octavia Butler, she over here.
Love Octavia Butler.
Let me tell you.
Love Octavia. I'll think of it. Katina, what about you? Because I know you like historical too. Did you grow up reading historical?
I started reading probably when I in like college. So
Okay, yeah.
I came a little later on because we grew up in a Christian home, and
Okay.
old maid was pushing the envelope. So I'm pretty sure having some romance novels was yeah,
Mhm.
that's a no. So it was
Yeah,
like
I get it.
contraband. So
I get it. Okay, so
mhm.
when you decided that you wanted to write historical, did you have a specific vision of how you wanted to write? Did you know up front that you wanted to center black folks basically in your stories?
I think that's always been my master goal, but you got to get there, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so, my first book, Madeline's Protector, there were a couple black characters in there, but I was told that these stories were that I didn't have this gift and that I should get a co-writer and I should change the stories up. So I did everything possible to make sure that book got published. So people became uh, descent. So it's like they was like they were no longer black. They were
Mm-hmm.
descent
Okay.
Right.
in a space because that's what I thought the publishing world wanted, and they snapped it up.
Mhm.
That is what they wanted, but it wasn't what I was meant to write.
Mm-hmm.
And so I changed up as quickly as possible, bringing back the stories of things that my father had told me. My father's from Trinidad and Tobago. He would tell me these glorious stories of women leading revolutions and women doing all these sorts of things to encourage his
Mhm.
only daughter. And I wanted those kind of stories. And then when I found historical romance and I see this sweeping world, but there's this still this gap of these people that should be there. One of my things is I love Pride and Prejudice. That's one of my favorite books.
Mine
And
too. Yeah.
and the 1995 version of Pride and Prejudice is the best with Colin Firth,
Oh yeah.
the L,
Okay.
5-part series. Like I haven't probably have watched that more than anybody. But there is a scene where Darcy's sweating and he's looking for Lydia and Wickham. The little boy comes rushing out on the street to give him something to drink. On that particular street, you should have seen a person of color, based on where he was searching for them.
Yeah.
And that other story is completely erased. And so I want to fill in the gaps. The Caribbean is thought of as South London, because that's how many people are migrating and transporting. During that 1817 time frame, it's in London, slavery is illegal. That didn't mean you couldn't have slaves,
Right.
but once they touch that soil, they're actually free. So they would actually not tell folks they brought with them. That's a whole nother side story. It's a whole nother side story. But it's a different place, because when you look at the rest of the world during that time frame, until 1835, you have enslavement pretty much everywhere. And then it takes to 1865 and a war in the United States. So there's a lot of early history that there are gifted writers that are doing. I wanted to bring something new. I wanted to bring something that's closer to my roots. And I wanted to show folks that we don't have, enslavement is not our only story. It's an important story. It's not the only story.
Right. I appreciate that too. Did you already have a specific period that you wanted to touch on?
It was always between 1798 to 1820. And that is
what's that considered?
That's Georgian and Regency.
Okay.
But it also covers the reign of Queen Marie Louise Christophe and King Christophe in Haiti, which is a rival court to the Regency court and Queen Charlotte. I mean, they're actually happening at the same time, similar levels of grandeur that are happening during these time frames. So you get this dynamic piece of the world that very few people put the pieces together and say, this is all happening at the same time.
Love it. What do you want readers to take away from your stories after reading them?
So many things. I want them to take away with, I hope they had a good time. There's a lot of stress going on, a lot of uncertainty that is hitting us. And I want them to take away the resilience of folks in the past. They figured it out. The reason we're here is they figured it out.
That's true. Right. That is so true.
They're working with a lot less.
True. We're reminding ourselves of that, right?
No. I don't mind us doing a fan dance while other folks out there protesting. I do not mind it at all. I will sit here and I will bake me Megan Sussex lemon olive oil cake with the raspberries and all day long. That's me. I'm gonna do that because while the world burns.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm good.
Hey Angela, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Angela.
All right, now I always ask romance authors when they come on, what's your favorite romance as far as movie or book?
Famous romance would happen to be, I have two, and of course they're always on the magic shelf. So we've got Guilty by Pat Simmons.
Okay.
My favorites. And then we've got Something Like Love by Beverly Jenkins.
Yeah.
To me,
yes.
The humor in this book is off the chain. The sweeping nature of the hero and heroine and the power that's enabled in the hero and the heroine. She's a mayor. She's a business owner. It's just beautiful, right? And got this kind of criminal boyfriend. Now that part probably not so good, right? And he's fine as hell, right? So,
oh man,
but I love this. And
I have several of hers, and my first one. I used to always say my favorite is Indigo, but it's so many that have. Yep.
I like to
told
be
Katina she
surrounded with the
gotta
pretty
check out
things, right?
Indigo and all of that. Yes.
And this one this is a good, I would say this kind of a YA-ish, before YA was a
Oh,
thing,
really? Okay.
Okay.
college kids, somebody did something they shouldn't have had, and now they're guilty. That's all I'm gonna say. They got figured out.
Love it. Love it. Okay, one last question before we get into the book. What advice would you give to someone that's just starting out on their writing journey?
You got to read a lot, and I write every day. Writing is
Okay.
a muscle, and if you're not writing every day, then you're teaching your brain is not important.
Mm.
And you will get in those ruts where, you know what, it's so much nicer to just go watch some Netflix,
Right.
do these other things. But if you build it in as something I have to do, then you're going to have to do it.
Now, what do you do though when you sit down to write and nothing's coming? Like, what do I write next? Like, if you have some things already written and then you're trying to
Um,
figure out, okay, where do I go next?
if you're stuck, then reread the last chapter you wrote,
Okay.
right? Because to me, when that happens, I've done something wrong in that last chapter.
Mm.
And the internal editor is like, wait a minute, you can't move forward till you fix this.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now sometimes I'll just write notes, fix this, right? We got a deadline, and we got
Right.
but sometimes something in the conversation, maybe I gave too much away, right?
Right.
Because it's like there's a balance of discovery in every
Right.
scene. Every scene has to have a goal. Something has to happen. Something has to change. And maybe I gave too much up. And so going back, we'll figure out what I did wrong, and then I can correct it and keep going forward.
Love it. I love hearing the different things that authors say as far as the advice. I love it. Okay, I missed one. So there's one more. Who is your favorite fictional historical character? I
Favorite
know that's kind
fiction?
of
That's a
yeah.
hard one. Well, we like Elizabeth Bennet. Anybody who could turn down, a man with all that money and not blink an eye is a
Right.
type of woman, right? Then you have crazy things like, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, I love Sherlock. Yes.
He's kind of a drug addict, but yeah, he be figuring stuff out.
Love
Right?
it.
You got Jessica Fletcher, any woman who
Oh man, yes.
nicely moves around and finds dead bodies everywhere she goes. That's a serial killer that's gotten away with a lot of things. So it's like it varies. It varies.
Those are some good ones. I love those.
Ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so we're gonna get a little into A Wager at Midnight and the characters. Yes, I love that cover, by the way.
Yes. Beautiful.
Did you have any input as far as the cover?
I told him it was at midnight. So,
so that was your.
Sometimes you don't get much, right?
Well, they did an excellent job
here,
anyway, so,
and
yeah.
David's spot on because, like, even with the first book, like, look at
Yes, I love that one too. I love it.
I love the motion. Like, you'd see her in motion, and
yes,
to me, that helped me give Georgina another characteristic of her always being in motion, running or dancing or something
I love
like
that.
And then this to me is Scarlett. She's put together, right?
Yes.
She's got the gloves. It's midnight, and after having a midnight release party, it really should have been a wager at 10:30 p.m. That was hard. That was hard. I thank all the people that came out. My sister was real tired the next day.
I know you were. That was a good idea, though.
Great idea, though. Great idea.
Shout out to the Bookworm in Powder Springs. Great place for authors to have events. Julia is amazing. All the readers that came out, you guys are amazing. It just, you come up with ideas and you just please. And it works out, and it was amazing.
Love it. Okay, so for those in the audience who haven't read it yet, can you give a brief overview of what A Wager at Midnight is about?
Okay, so if y'all are looking for a simple book, This is probably not your speed. I'm gonna just put it out there. This is not for you.
Simple.
Because there's a lot of things going on. And I would say the first half of the book kind of sets the stages so you know all the complications, because one of the things that I think a lot of people, I want to make sure they understand what the stakes are in this world. You have Scarlett. She is the alleged middle daughter, so to speak, right? So, exactly, allegedly.
Even though she gave middle daughter vibe,
She could be the youngest daughter in some respect. The youngest marriageable daughter. Here we go. Youngest marriageable daughter. There we go. Youngest marriageable daughter. And most people today wouldn't understand that a woman is not allowed to be in medicine. Right. They are supposed to, literally during this time frame, whether you're black or white or whatever, if you're coming from an upper middle class or one of the rich families, you're expected to look pretty and marry well. That is your job. Right. And Scarlett doesn't want that. And so I have to explain and show you why a woman of that age is acting differently. Because I want everybody to understand we only hear about the successes, and there are women who have gone to the same extents that Scarlett did in order to learn about medicine. So Scarlett, I'm not going. This is sort of a spoiler, not really, but Scarlett is driven to this because her twin brother died.
Right.
And she knows that there's not enough medical care in her community, in the immigrant community, in the Black community. In the poor community, there's just not enough medical care. And so she often will dress up like what her twin brother would have been, and pretend to be Scotland Wilcox, and go to medical lectures, or even volunteer at the women's prisons to give care and aid. That's the length she would go to. And once again, if you just jump into right then and do it, you'll be like, wow, she crazy, or she real motivated. But you don't understand. You got to understand, to me, you need to understand her motivation.
Right.
That you are rooting for her, because there's some times where she could get caught and the circumstances could be very dire. Like if she gets caught cross-dressing at this time frame or in the company of men, her reputation is trash. And she could ruin her family, ruin the family business. I mean, this scandal is a real thing. They have scandal sheets. Everybody knows Lady Whistledown's little comment. That's kind of a real thing. And everybody is living not to be rolled up into a scandal. So she's taking risks, but in her mind, if she could save one person, she's gonna do it. It's worthwhile. At the same time, so a little bit more on Scarlett. So Scarlett, the Duke of Torrance is kind of in the background. They have become friends, but kind of at the end of the last book, she kind of blackmailed him because she figured out something that people who aren't paying attention about this man sometimes just gets sick upon occasion, and then he kind of withdraws, and now he's seeing, you kind of see these things that you think are alcohol bottles on his thing, and they're actually pain medicines. So she understands he's dealing with some things, and she kind of guesses, because she's seen these traits before, that he has the dreaded blood disease. And for those who don't know, the dreaded blood disease is sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is an ancient disease. It goes back to the BC time frame. It's a genetic mutation that at one point was to help to be able to absorb so much sunlight in Africa, in the African plains. But when you move people from Africa, against their will, I might add, we're living in a time frame where people get confused, transported to places we didn't exactly intend or wanted to be. That mutation now is deadly. It's a painful chronic illness. And what often happens is that families are picked out when they see this, and you get ostracized. So in book one, you don't quite get why they live on the other side of the Thames. In book two, you begin to understand why they live on the other side of the Thames. And so, so Scarlett is multi-purpose. She's got another friend that has basically what do you call it when the calluses form?
Oh yeah.
Cataracts. Has cataracts, that she's going to solve that problem, but at the same time she's trying to figure out what she can do to help save the Duke. So the Duke is allowing her great leeway, but he always has one of his men to be watching over her to make sure she doesn't get in trouble. But on this particular time frame, he needs somebody else to watch her. So he kind of force asks
Right.
his physician, Stephen Adam Carew, to watch over her. And Stephen's a workaholic because once again, medical in this time frame is very difficult to ascertain. And he's treating patients all over. He works himself so much that he kind of, gets narcoleptic at times, where he's falling asleep all over the place, and just because he's that exhausted. But he's also driven. But he's known Scarlett since she was younger, since she was in her teens. He's been the Wilcox family physician. But he notices she ain't talking to me like before. And when they do talk, they are fire, right? They are like burning each other, but it's not in a mean kind of way. It's just like they just do. That's just them. They dig on each other all the time. And all of a sudden now she ain't talking to him at all. So he's looking forward to this opportunity to see what's going on. But then, oh my goodness, she's dressing like a man. And if she go down, I'm going down. And it's gonna be a hot
Stephen was
mess.
definitely
So
a man of his time as far as the way he thought. And that's where a lot of the tension came, because he couldn't see like the Duke could see in Scarlett, how much she had to offer. She just happened to be born at the time where, it wasn't appreciated in women.
Exactly.
Yeah, even down to how he describes his ideal woman.
Yes.
Nothing like Scarlett.
Right. And then kept wondering why he didn't want to, marry him or have anything to do with him. I'm like, is he just this? Oh my goodness.
Get a clue, bro.
He was very dense throughout I'm like, please get a clue, please.
He's got no clue. And everybody around him knows something's up, right? His driver Benny knows something's up.
Benny, I like I told you, I love Benny. I loved his character. And he did not hold his tongue with Stephen Carew either. Oh man, I loved it. Now, I usually don't, and I say this a lot, I don't normally care for like enemies to lovers type storylines, because it just irks me when they go back and forth. But I actually enjoyed their banter. And I don't know what, I think the levity too of it reminded me of some of the movies I used to watch, my classic movies. And I think that's why I was able to, get into it without it like, because it usually takes me a minute to get into those, because all the going back and forth and denying your feelings and all that usually takes me a while to get into the story. But I really, really enjoyed this one. Yeah.
Because for me, they aren't really enemies.
Right. It's not really right.
They're not really. They actually want the best for each other. And I think that at the root, is a bonding thing, and it keeps it from, because some enemies they really
like, why do you want to be together?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You burnt down my house. You shot my brother. I don't understand why we supposed to be friends.
Oh man. But what it reminded me of too is, and I watched this on PBS. What is it called? And her name is Miss Scarlett. Is it Miss Scarlett or Scarlett?
Oh, Scarlett.
Yes. Yes. Because she is another one where they had that tension, and they're always at odds, because he's a police inspector, and she's a woman that wants to do what women of her time don't do. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I love it.
Women aren't supposed to be able to touch or see dead bodies, which is a huge thing. So it's like to me, that's why you have to I filter you in so you can kind of get that moment of that world, and you see the challenges that someone like Scarlett has. and then you get then it starts to expand, and you see how people begin to change their minds and change how their viewpoints. To me, it's I love this story. It's the best of all
Yeah,
worlds.
I loved it too. Just the it was some, like I said, the levity in it, and it came mainly from Benny, but it came from Benny and Steven together too. Oh man.
Like a comedy duo.
But Steven was like the straight man, and then
Yeah.
he was
Love
when they were talking about the we'll do a secret word or something like that. Because let me
Yeah.
know, and they kept trying to going around and around about what was gonna be the word. Oh man,
Oh, I just love
such a
it.
wonderful
I
job,
love
Vanessa,
y'all.
on that. I loved it.
Y'all get my crazy sense
I
of humor.
loved
I love that.
it.
Oh, the part where the ladder when he was trying to and he was like,
Oh,
oh,
that was one of
get
my
out here.
favorite. That was
I don't
one of my
know.
favorite scenes that I have listed. Yeah, when he started quoting Shakespeare,
Awesome.
I have to do something. I'm about to lose her. Oh
Oh
man,
my god, it
yes,
was
Angela. The
so
banter between them was everything, and the
everything.
driver. Yes, he was there for
He was
it. He
there
was the
for
master
it.
instigator.
Yes.
He was trying to get him to understand and see that he loved Scarlett. It
Right.
was just a friendship. Oh yeah, you're right. The aunties too. Even though the aunties kind of made me
Oh,
mad.
who them aunties?
I love them all. You know, so earlier I love our reviewers, and I look at them because like and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but so many people love the aunties. I had to put them in book 3, so the aunties will be
Okay.
back in book 3. That's a stretch now, but I was like, I gotta weave them back in because they are just too much
They
fun.
were funny. It's
Right.
but I like that Scarlett too speaks her mind, even though she was
Yeah.
she was trying to be demure.
It wasn't working. It wasn't working. At their party, by the
No,
way.
I know.
Oh
Right.
man.
God.
And Steven's cousin, she was instigating the whole thing. She was
Oh, right.
co-signing everything that Scarlett was saying. So yeah, I loved it. I love that scene too.
I love
Uh,
it.
what was one of your other favorite scenes, Katina, in the story?
Um, I had so many. Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
me too.
I like the delivery of the baby.
Oh yes, yeah,
I
that
love
was
the what do you call it? The working
the
together,
teamwork. Yeah.
teamwork, and they didn't even realize what was happening. It was just
Mhm,
like, and I was like,
mhm.
oh, maybe they're gonna do this in the future. My brain is going. But
I love
before
that
I'm
too.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
so
I
that
love
was
that
really
too.
cool.
Yeah. And the that's a very tense scene,
Yes,
Mhm.
right? And it's also taking you back to that time frame. The pregnancy, the successful pregnancy rates are fairly
yes.
low,
Yeah, yeah.
during that time frame. So the dangers of what's happening. And I love that, C-section is an African technique that goes back to the 1300s. I think they trace that to,
Oh, really?
where they had figured out when the babies was stuck how to get the babies
Mm.
out.
Mhm.
And Europeans adopted that and brought that technique. So it's like showcasing the history of
Right.
medicine
Mhm.
in that
Like,
story, but yet still not letting that be the driver. It's really the interaction of Stephen and Scarlett, and Stephen realizing that if she doesn't
right.
help
Mhm.
him, then this light and this gift that she has is going to be diminished because of
Mhm.
fear.
Right.
So it's like they've gotta work together, and so it's like it's a great
It
moment.
is,
It's a
and it's
great moment.
amazing to me how his thought process changed because he was kind of trying to keep her the way he wants, what he considered that he wanted in a
Right.
partner. But
Mhm.
then when he saw how it
Mhm.
affected her, then he went into thinking about what was best for her and getting over the fear. Even though the Duke put him in his place a couple of times too and said, "Do not stifle her," and if you can't let her be her, then leave her alone.
Because you think about his
Exactly.
point of view was that he did medicine. He was all day long. And he
Yes.
wanted his mate to be the opposite of
So
him.
that would have been the wrong person for him to marry. I kept saying
Absolutely
that whenever
wrong.
he said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, does he realize that he's saying he wants somebody that's not her? Basically, he wants to change her.
He said it so many times, and it's like, and you don't understand why you don't
Right,
want to
right. Oh man, yes, Angela. That's when Scarlett had her light bulb moment.
did.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But Vanessa, what was one of my favorite scenes, and I laughed when they were at the brothel. And Steven was out of his wits, and Scarlett went into the protective mode, and she was trying to keep him, from being violated and pure.
That daggone rose water. But I was like,
Wait a minute, I had some rose water and hand soap, and I kept smelling like, yeah, I can see where it can get on your nerves. You got a whole bunch of it. Oh man, that was a good scene. I really enjoyed that. Comical,
that smell was in that carriage for a while too.
Oh man, yes, the brothel scene they were doing. The most for real.
Yeah.
And to find out that one of the girls was.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I definitely didn't see that coming. Yeah,
see that coming.
And to me, it's the perfect
Right.
photo, right? It's like, why would I spend so much time in the brothel letting you know these people's names?
Right.
You're not gonna come back.
Oh man. And then in the carriage, was that the same night? I can't remember. No, that was a different night when they got the icy.
He's recovered. He's determined now. I've screwed up. I've taken her to a brothel. So
Right. Oh man, because like he said, they got caught in compromising positions several times. Even when they didn't get caught, he said he knew. So he
Oh no! And then his boy Benny brings the ices in banana shape.
And Benny would just look at him and shake his head like, this man. Oh man, like I told you, when he told Scarlett, you got him out of his head, or something he said to that effect, like you just got him where he don't know if he coming or going. Yes, Myra, you will love it. This is actually book 2. Book 1. Can you hold that up again, Vanessa? Book 1. I read it out of order, but that's book 1.
Good one too.
But this is book 2 that we're talking about today. But you will love it. You will love it. You know which one I love too that I felt was a heartfelt moment was the scene between Scarlett and Catherine when they actually both opened up about their true feelings.
Still don't like it.
Yeah. I'm like, because I was like, I asked Katina, did something happen in the first book? What am I missing that she has this she treats the way she does?
Okay, so just for these are technically not spoilers. So back when I think about 7 years prior, 5 to 7 years before the book starts, the Duke and Lady Hampton have a romance. Okay. They were married. I'll give you that spoiler. They were married, right? But they break apart, and she comes back, and she marries his loser best friend, who tells her all this stuff that he was just playing you, girl. You know, I was the one. I love you. But he just wanted to burn up their money because the Wilcox had the coal money, right? And so he's a gambler. He takes these crazy bets. He takes a bet that breaks his back. And he's now got to confess because he's like, oh no, I done burned up all the money, all this sort of stuff. let me call the Duke up. He rich. He can fix all this. And the Duke comes and he confesses everything. And the Duke wants to kill him before he dies.
Yeah.
If he could have
He
got
would
away
have
with
done
it, he
it.
would have killed him before
That
he
is
died.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
And Catherine can't stand him, but the Georgina and Scarlett are mad at her because they're like, if you had married better,
Right.
Mhm.
if you'd done your job to marry
Mhm.
better or not marry at all, we wouldn't be in
Right.
this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But because you married, we're stuck, and he burned up all our money, which now, in the other, I mean, literally, Georgina thought she was going to be a
Right.
spinster because you don't have a lovely dowry. Our family has this stigma of having the blood
Right.
disease, so we're not having a lot of black men, black families coming to marry us because we've got the blood disease in our line.
Mhm.
So so they were, and it's all basically Catherine, Lady Hampton's fault. If she had done better, we wouldn't be in this situation. So they each have this little bit of
Right.
right? They love each other fiercely. Like it's like, don't talk about my
Right.
sister. I can't. Don't talk about
That part. Yes.
they love each
Really
other,
do.
right? But they're all they are
Right.
mad.
But they held
They're
this up.
mad.
They held
And
each other accountable. I think.
Yes.
exactly.
At least the
Exactly.
Georgina and Scarlett hold Catherine accountable for what she does, and she has those softer moments when she's like,
Mhm.
"I'm sorry," and then she has those other moments where she's like, "Well, blame me for everything." It's kind of like bipolar. I don't know. She goes- and it's like so frustrating because I don't know. Everything is
Right.
just right in her face, and she should be able to see what the frustration of her sisters
Right.
and the Duke for
Yes.
that
And
matter.
then I think it came through too. I think she even says, I don't know if she said it to Scarlett or Georgina, but she admitted that she's afraid of getting her heart broken. So that's why she has this wall up.
Well, she was lied
Mhm.
to,
Right.
so there's that.
Right. Right.
So, and if
Mhm.
she believed him so much, and is dying, wherever he, that no matter what the Duke says,
Right. She gonna believe what she was
gonna
told.
believe him.
Mm-mm. Another
You see this evil
enjoyable.
look on Vanessa's face, right?
Yeah. What?
Mhm. Mhm. The question is, did she really believe Travis? She's a
I
smart
don't think
woman.
she should have, but out of the ego, is it like I have to be right? I don't know. I couldn't
I thought it was
figure
a little bit like that too. She had to be.
She
Yeah.
had,
She didn't want to
Well,
admit
now that
that.
you've done all
Yeah.
these, you read the epilogue, you know what she's
yeah,
done. So she has to be right
right.
about it.
Right.
Otherwise, I've done all this and hurt an innocent
Right.
person
Yeah.
For what?
or two innocent people.
Wow.
Angela is saying that Catherine has a lot on her plate and a huge secret. Yeah.
Huge.
Which I guess can make you very bitter and come across as just that she holding so much, like you said. Yeah.
Yes. And that's one of the challenges.
You went out, Vanessa.
Oh, hold on. Can you please?
I couldn't hear you for a minute. I don't know what happened, but
It came back.
yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah. I can
Okay.
hear you now.
That was weird because it tried to go to a microphone that's not hooked up. So I don't know what that did.
Oh
but
man.
as I was saying, you've got a black woman who is unlikable in book 1, softening in book 2, and now we have to redeem her in book 3 because that is Catherine and the Duke's book.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I felt, and I think I told Katina this. I felt so bad for the Duke all throughout the book. I'm like, oh my goodness! Just because he wanted her affection so much, and she was not trying to give it.
Not having it.
But what was enjoyable for me, the enjoyable moments and feel good moments for me was anytime the Duke and little Lydia were together.
Oh,
That just melted my heart each time.
yes.
Oh, she's
And the way she called him my Duke.
That's
My,
my Duke.
my best friend, my Duke. Catherine, stop being mad at my Duke. Oh, I
That was
loved it.
her,
that was
her original pep talk to Scarlett. Just tell him you love him. And
Right.
yeah.
Oh, I loved her. Um, in their relationship.
Mhm,
But I also love Scarlett and the Duke's relationship.
mhm. They are
Yeah.
very close, and
Mhm.
that's he needed a champion, right? Because when you haven't done what people think you've done,
Right.
and you're trying to be a good guy or a good woman, to have somebody in your corner who believes in you is important. And Scarlett does believe in it. Now, she might have blackmailed him at the end of the last book, but that's irrelevant because that's how these things go. But it's to me, I love the extended family. I love showing all
Mhm.
the different connections. I'm going to take you on a journey in these books, and you're going
Yes.
to see the families because it's a big decision. Marrying somebody or choosing to be in someone's life, it's the interconnections that make everything
Yes.
happen in the community. So you're going to have that. And these women need a protector, unfortunately,
Mhm.
but just because of the time frames
They do.
that they're living in. There are people who've been scheming to get the coal business from them.
Right.
You got Tavis burning up their actual money. It's
Right.
there's so many different things, and it's a time frame where they would want to see them fail.
Mhm.
And so they need somebody in their corner. And so I love the Duke from that aspect of being in their corner.
Yeah.
But he's a man. He's got his own battles he's dealing with at the same time, and the strain that takes with health challenges
Right.
is very important. And there's a bit of realism that I want people to feel, and because we go back to, as an author, it's a privilege to be able to highlight things.
Mhm.
There are cures now that are coming up, but they're very expensive, and they're only one in maybe 10,000 get an opportunity to have these.
Right.
This disease should have been solved a longer time ago. Right now, it's primarily pain management, which is a lot of drugs and
Right. Right.
chronic pain.
Yeah.
So, more spotlighting needs to happen. And if we can do this and wrap it up to also show that people living with chronic diseases still have lives,
Yes.
still worthy of love. They're not defined by their conditions or their diseases. Wasn't also important, a goal for this entire series. So I'm gonna weave in foolishness, but a little seriousness here and there, and
Mhm.
the moments that touch your heart. And I hope people love these characters.
I love them. I love them. I love them, and I can't wait to read book 3. Well, I love most of them. Catherine, she has to grow on me.
You'll be working hard. Working hard. Work hard.
but but you know what else I loved? I loved when they Stephen and Scarlett's love language when he was when he was trying to seduce her and she was like, wait a minute, she said, I'll be bored if I marry you. And he was like, oh, he put it on his lap and he was like, no, let me. And so the love lady, they started talking to him. He started, what was it, cholera or something? He
Yeah.
was, and she was eating it up like.
Poor
Oh man,
Charlotte.
that was such a fun scene. I love that. I
Stephen
said,
is a very
whoever
smart
thought?
man. So once he
Yes,
figures it out, he's good.
right.
You just gotta figure it out.
You gotta figure it out. Yeah.
You remember the grand gesture that he did, and when he got back, when she said him, and he was like, "What?"
I don't understand.
And then that's when I think the Duke told him that
The Duke was like,
that's That's her letting you in.
Gotta understand where she's coming from.
Right.
Poor Steven, if without Benny and the dude, he'd be just a hot mess.
Lord.
Oh man.
Without Benny and the dude,
It's good.
It was such a
It's really
good book,
good.
such a fun book, and I really, really enjoyed it. I was devouring it. Yes. Yes. And I read a lot of historical, so I'm kind of a historical snob. I'm like, you have to bring it with me. So
thank you.
oh man. I was trying to look for the author that I was thinking that I'll DM it to you because I know there's one that you probably have read before too, but I cannot think of her name for some reason. Katina, did you have any more on this? Before we go into the second
I like to climb into like the insignificant things in the book that might mean something, or not. But what was that with Stephen and the fresh breath and the pepper?
Oh yeah. And she kept commenting on the chap. Who's chap lips? Well, she didn't say chap. She said ashy lips.
But he always had fresh breath.
Yeah, he always has. Yeah. Especially for that time
where
period.
that came from, but it's like you do these character sketches of what their little quirks are, right? Right? That's his quirk. He's gonna have fresh breath. Not sure where that came from.
She was all about the that he smelled, his breath smelled good, and that his lips. She said, and he didn't have ashy lips when he kissed her. I love it because you hear a lot, and you see in the movies and stuff from back then that was not, cleanliness was not the thing back then.
Juxtaposition of being so particular about your breath, but your lips are jacked.
Oh man, I love it. I was watching something historical on I think it was Royalty TV, and they did a documentary on Henry VIII, and they went to some museum that had some of their old stuff, and they were saying that they used to put on like the linen, because it used to absorb all the like odor and stuff. Like I'm like, and you can actually see some of the stains still on the. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. It took a long time before Europeans decided bathing was a good thing. So, that's why I was like, I love those folks. Historical accuracy, Okay, so you tell me you want some stinky people with gonorrhea.
Oh my goodness.
With the teeth falling out. Don't forget that. Teeth falling. It's like, dude.
That's good stuff.
Man. I'm glad we have come a long way since.
Very.
Oh man. But thank you so much for coming on the show. I really, really enjoyed it. And I will continue to let people know about the book. I put my review out there already on NetGalley and Amazon. I still need to put it on Barnes and Noble. I'll do that today.
Oh, please do. Yeah. And everywhere that makes a huge difference. Reviews and everything. Because people are like, hey, what's this about? And they'll read some reviews. They'll read the good ones, the bad ones, and everything, and just say, you know what, that's something I'm very interested in. So I'll
make sure to do that. And again, enjoy the rest of your night and much success with the book.
Thank you. Guys.
Oh, before we go, you want to let everyone know what you have coming up next?
Yeah. So get prepared. We're going to be going to my next historical fiction. It's 1600s. It's piracy in the Caribbean. Lots of fun. Piracy is legal in the 1600s.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Okay.
And so you're going to see women at that time frame only had two real options. You were either a witch or a wife. And some women decided, no, I want something else.
Right.
I'm going to go to any length to do it. So the current title of the book is Fire, Sword, and Sea. It will be coming out January 11th.
Mark your calendars, everybody, so you can make sure to check that What? Let me see. Island is saying,
There is some Port Royal in there. There is some Petit Goave in there. There is some Tortuga in there. There is St. Andrews is in there.
okay.
Several cities that's going to be in there. So it's a lot of fun. Well, actually, there's a lot of death up in that book. I killed a hell of a lot of people because
Well, I can imagine that with it
I'm
being
just gonna put
pirates.
it out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of action, a lot of battles. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, I
Wow.
can't wait. I can't wait. Hi, Dio. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us. She said she like That's all right. That's all right. Oh man, but yeah, I truly enjoyed this. It was such a good read, and I love the characters. And like I said, it's a testament that their bantering and stuff didn't get on my because I was like, oh no. but
Bye
but yeah, and so do you know when book 3 should be
Book
coming?
3, A Deal at Dawn, should be in June or
Okay.
June or July.
All right, I'll make sure to watch out for that.
Yes, and top tier foolishness.
I bet. And I hope we still have Benny in
Oh,
We gonna bring Benny in.
he was hilarious.
Thank
He was
you.
hilarious. Oh man. Myra's saying, oh wait a minute, it jumped up.
He went down.
She can't wait to she has to get caught up.
Okay.
And Islin is saying she's looking forward to your next book. She should be finished with the other by then.
Excellent.
All righty.
I love you, readers. You guys are amazing. This show is amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Buzz show.
Thank you. And we'll have to have you back when the next book comes out. All righty. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good evening.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So we're going to get into our second segment. And let's see. We have. Okay, so this is the our book highlight for the week. And for those who are new here, we do a weekly book highlight. It doesn't have to be anything that we, recently read, but just something that stood out to us that we want to recommend to other book lovers. So that is what's coming up now. All right. And you want me to go first, Katina, or you want to go?
I could go.
All right.
I'm good. This book I picked, I read this a long time ago and I forgot about it.
I love this. I love this myself. Yeah.
And I was like, what was I thinking? So I started rereading it because why not? I mean, actually, I'm listening to it. So
how is the narration?
It's actually, you get the drawl, the little Tennessee drawl. I believe. I can't remember if it's a female character and a male character. It's not too bad.
Okay.
But it's, it does give the moments are accentuated by, the tone and the exaggerations of the narrator. So it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
And that's one of my actually one of my favorite series is In a Whiskey Row. So
and it's about 6 books in this series.
Yeah, I think it might even be more than that because I know she did some. Well, I don't know if that's part of because she has the 3 and they kind of cross over. Yeah. So
Yeah.
But I think she just did a Christmas one, and I still need to read that one. And it's part of this series.
Yeah.
I think it's like a novella. It's not long.
And the first one is Sweet Obsession. In the author,
yes, by D.A. Young. For those who are listening later,
but it's basically a story about the male character is Jack, and he's from Whiskey Row with a
Yes, with
real
their
checkered
southern
past,
twang.
a daddy that was and and you know they
Yes,
had
Jennifer, me too. I love this. Oh, you said you
yeah.
listened to the series? Okay.
That's the whole thing. The whole thing is on Audible. Hold on, let me check out. I had to
Oh,
find
you
it.
were late to the series, and I read this maybe. I think it came out. Maybe it's been a while. It came out a while ago.
2015. It's been a minute. Not even
Hmm.
maybe that. I don't know. But it's been out for a while. Maybe
Yeah.
2020, something like that. These alpha men that
Yes. Yes.
they
And
handle their
I
business.
love the way they treat their women. Though, with the Southern, I just love. They're all Southern men,
Hmm.
brothers,
So you
and
get that brotherly connection
hmm
with the females. You get that girlfriend
yes, they all end up being really tight. Yeah.
connection and that real
Mhm.
honest, like brutal, you know, you messing up, girl type of
Right. Right. Right.
relationship. Um, the familial thing is a little different because it's not mom, dad most of the
Right.
way.
They have basically adoptive parents who was
Yeah,
the best friend of their mother.
yeah,
Because when you get into their backstory, it's kind of sad. But they had
yeah, it is.
their mother's best friend and her husband step in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um,
So it's just good
oh,
stuff.
it's your thing, and I'm talking about the.
No, it's fine. This is exactly what we're supposed to do.
Jennifer, it says, yeah, she said she read the whole series and then she wanted to listen to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I read it too. I read it first, and then I saw that it was on Audible, and I said, "Oh, let me see how this sounds." So,
Yep, I read it. I haven't listened to any of them, but I've read the entire series except for
mhm.
Jennifer. Did you read the Christmas one that just came out? She just had a Christmas one come out a few months ago.
I'm trying to find
Um,
that one.
yes, the men were definitely alpha males. They were, yes. Um, and
That
I
was
love how
good,
they love their women.
and it was about a little over 300 pages. Not terrible. Not
No,
terrible read. Not at all.
I actually appreciate it, because you get
Yeah,
more, development, time to develop the
yeah,
characters and stuff. As long as it's a good read, and this was definitely a good read.
it's a good read.
So
Mhm.
you all will not be disappointed. In this series, it's the Men of Whiskey Row series by
Mhm.
D.A. Young, and believe me, you will if you like stories about strong brotherhoods, because the brothers are very, very close.
And they have
And
some friends too.
yeah, and
Yeah,
friends that are
friends
very
and
like extended family,
yeah,
and you get the sisterhood with the friends, and
it's good.
I mean with their wives and stuff. So yeah, I think
Mhm.
you'll love it. You'll love it.
And the sex
Um,
scenes aren't terrible.
yes, 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 yes,
Oh my
yes.
lord.
If you love Southern men in your books, these are all Southern men from a rural town of Whiskey Row.
That's some hot stuff. Yeah, yeah. So, can't forget that.
Oh
So,
man, yes. So
exactly.
yeah, and I meant to say at the beginning of the show, if you all ever read any of our highlights, please let us know and let us know what you think. I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that on last week's show too.
Yep. Well, that's mine.
All right, that was you were done, Katina.
Yep, I'm done. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we're gonna get into mine. I'm actually doing once because I had mentioned this to you when you were looking for a book. And then I'm like, okay, I need to make this my highlight because this is still one of my top favorites. Okay,
Uh-huh. Okay.
so this one for me is this week. Um, the first book is a 5-book series, and they're all out. I read this several years ago, and the first book is Out of the Shadows, and it is a Werewolf Wars paranormal book. So if you're into paranormal or fantasy, you will love, love, love. This is still after all this time. I think I read it back in 2014 when I was looking at when I bought it, and the first book. and it still is up there as far as one of my favorite paranormals of all time, because it has so much that I look for in a good paranormal. For one thing, not just the romance, but the action in it is like top tier, top tier.
Now, are they
Um,
all werewolves, or does it expand into other?
Actually, that's one of the things I love about it. They're all werewolves,
Right,
but I love that they also mix it with humans. So
right.
humans fight alongside. So I love that it's not like the humans are. I mean, they do keep themselves to themselves, and
Right.
but they, they make exceptions. Jennifer said, "Let me say, my youngest son Marcus has come in the house when I was listening to those things." Oh man, I can imagine. He probably was like, "Where are you listening to?" Jennifer, I told you I was gonna get you back into paranormal. This is a good one for you. But I'm bring out to let you know some more. Okay, so I'm going to read the synopsis. Okay, it said he saved his sister from becoming a breeder, but now the alpha is coming for him. Okay, wait a minute, my battery is going down on my laptop.
Oh.
Okay. Um, so he wants to save his sister who's been um they want to breed her basically. So his name is Devin. He's the main character in the first book. Devin has been denied his alpha birthright since his stepfather murdered his father. His stepfather desires power and doesn't care how he gets it, even if it sacrifices his family. Devin helped his sister seek sanctuary in a new pack, but their victory is short lived when the alpha catches up to them and declares war. He can take care of himself, but his baby sister can't, and he wasn't counting on meeting his fated mate or that she would be human. Lark is fiery, beautiful, smart, and she knows shifters exist, but she doesn't understand the violence a shifter fight brings. Devin tries to avoid her, but he can only deny his wolf and her for so long before temptation takes over. His stepfather is out for blood, and if he can't get to Devin, then he'll go after everyone he loves, including Lark. War is on the horizon, and only one pack will survive. And when I tell you this book, and I forgot to say the author's name, this is Out of the Shadows by Bethany Shaw, book one of Werewolf Wars. And when I tell you Bethany Shaw brought, I have never read a paranormal, because they actually are at war, the different packs. And then they have other packs to align, are allies
Right.
uh, of the good people pack and then of the bad pack. And when I say the wars are brutal and they fight in wolf form, oh man, it was so well done. I can't say enough about it. And I've been looking for some more books by her, but it looks like she may have stopped writing. I hate that because she really is very good. The storyline, this is my thoughts about it. The storyline is riveting, with lots of suspenseful elements and well-developed characters. You'll come to care about the characters. There was passionate banter between the two main characters that kind of got on my nerves in the beginning.
Okay.
But it mainly was because of Devin trying to protect Lark, but it's also because he just has a moody demeanor. Um, and then the pacing also was excellent. It was fast enough to hold my interest throughout the book and the entire series. Lark was likable and strong and just the right match for Devin. And I love that the author, like I said before, included humans fighting alongside the shifters, because Lark and her sister are sisters and they're human, and they grew up because their father was I believe he was a doctor, and
Okay.
he was best friends with um, the pack alphas, which is Devin's uncle. So they knew about the shifters and they grew up alongside them.
Oh
So
man. Okay.
so they're considered family. So when the war comes, they don't care if you human, shifter, whatever. They coming for everybody. And it
Okay.
was just, man, it was so good.
Yeah, that sounds
Like,
that it sounds something. I'm gonna start looking it up. It started similar to a Bear Shifter series. Not a well, a series that started with vampires progressed to dragons, to fairies,
Oh, really?
to
Okay.
bears, and that storyline reminds me of something kind of similar to that, not the same, but
What's the name of you remember the name of that series?
I was trying to remember the author. So, but
When
yeah,
you
it was like so many pieces to that.
Yeah, if you remember, let me know. I'm always looking for another good
So many books.
paranormal.
But that was the first time I had read anything about bears, so that's why
Oh, okay,
it
okay.
stands out for me. But yeah, I think I have that on my TBR that you gave.
You will not be disappointed. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, you're gonna be on the edge of your seat. She brings it with it's just so much, it's just intense.
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
you do feel, and she develops the character so well that you do feel um you feel that anxiety when you think
Yeah,
something's gonna happen to them. But yeah, very, very good read.
I like that.
Yes, yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
down for the paranormal. You got it. Whatever.
Yes, yes, yes,
I'll try it out for sure.
yes. I have to reach out to her to see if she's still writing or not. Because I
What
haven't
was
been.
this one?
The first one came. I know I purchased it in 2014, but I don't know if
Okay.
that's what it was
Okay.
published. But yeah, and then the other books came out like maybe a year apart.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, very, very good. So everyone, like I said, if you ever try any of our highlights, just let us know what you think, and so we can, if you liked it, we can talk about it and get your thoughts on it. All
Mm-hmm.
right, and make sure to get Vanessa Riley's A Wager at Midnight, and then the first book is what's the first one? A Gamble at Sunset.
More sunset.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you will not be disappointed, and I'm looking forward to the third book. And I actually have to go back and read the first book. I've read it out of order, but yeah, make sure to get it and check it out and support her if you can.
All right.
Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out and being so engaged in the conversation.
Yes.
And
Ooh.
I'll be back on. I won't be back on next Monday, but I'll be on the Monday after that. And I hope you all can join us. We're going to be talking to Brenda Jackson, and I'm excited to have her on. So I'm looking forward to that. All
Absolutely.
right, everyone. Have a great evening and continue to get lit with the Book Buzz Show.
Look at the big ones.
Good
Good night.
night.